Good morning and welcome to my first Forex video. I hope to make this a daily morning update covering pairs that I'm trading or am looking to enter into. The focus will be based on wave analysis, which is my principal method for reading charts and entering into trades, identifying impulses, identifying corrections to then enter into for the next impulse. Also taking breakout trades from flags and also reversals through ending diagonals and trading fourth wave triangles for fifth or C waves. I do this for a living and I trade my own account, and I base my analysis entirely on what I see in the chart without any reference to fundamental evaluations, which frankly I couldn't handle anyway. Too complicated and too ambiguous in my opinion, and based on my own analysis of Elliott wave theory. So with that, let's begin. The pairs I'm currently trading and looking to enter further into are mostly New Zealand pairs, with a few Japanese pairs as well. The main one at the moment, the one with the best medium to long term target, is Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Just to show it from a monthly time frame, going back to 2011, we have had a 5-wave structure into the 2015 low, where we had a 3-month bullish impulse. This can be marked as 1 or A as a new advancing pattern. It is a 5-wave structure here, and what followed was essentially an 18-month correction into late last year, where we had another impulse. And again, another correction, which is now just finishing and entering into a very aggressive middle third impulse wave. At the moment, from last night's Bank of New Zealand news, we had a very strong reversal into wave 3 of 3. Now, it is not, just to go back for a moment to the weekly charts, the target essentially on this move will be above 1.15. This impulse, 1 or A, regardless it's impulsive, was followed by a long correction to here, another impulse, and it is off this that we are now taking the trade. An impulse earlier this week, 3 days reversal for wave 2, and we took off last night to show the structure. It was a deep correction, but it was a corrective structure, 3 waves, X, and 3 more. Last night, rather the day before, we had a leading diagonal for wave 1 of 3, a 3-wave correction to here, and now this is ambiguous and we won't really know until the structure develops further later. But at the moment, it's looking like this was 1, this was 2, and we had wave 1 of 3, wave 2 of 3, and now we are in one single long wave 3 of 3. Here around the 105.40 mark, there could be a triangle for wave 4. So if this reverses later in the day, I will be looking for any corrective structure to hold 105.40, or possibly a test of 105.20, but I don't think this will happen. It's simply too bullish. On the 15-minute charts, 1, 2, and if you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, low triangle here. So we should be looking to reverse back to wave 4 of wave 3 In any case, that will come, but the issue is here to add on to trades and to enter into any corrections, local or larger. So there's an identifiable break of trend here, which may be retested at some point. But this pair is infamous for unwieldy, long-winded corrections and then very violent impulses. Often with longer wave fives, maybe because it is a commodity currency. I'm not sure of the reason, but it has a type of structure. But in any case, you see 3 months here, 2 months here, long corrections. This will not come back down much. Any retrace to 540 would be excellent to get into and continue on. It's certainly in wave 3 now, as it's a very strong impulse. Other New Zealand pairs, Euro New Zealand. This one I've been tracking for ages now, ever since a 2015 impulse. Okay, back in 2015 we had a 5-wave motive structure off of the low, and we've been correcting for a year and a half or longer. ABC correction, long ending diagonal. There is now, holding this low, there is now a very good chance that we are in for a long-term reversal with a new bullish trend setting up. The ending diagonal as such, with wave 4 here of C, with wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5 of the ending diagonal. On the lower time frames, it would be in wave 3 now. Very similar to Australian New Zealand dollar. 1, 2, 3. We've broken out of the channel here. Any correction for here for wave 4, we'll see a buy up to here most likely. And following that, probably a larger 3-wave correction if we establish a 5-wave move. Any 5-wave move will be a chance to buy further on a local correction. So these are two of the best options, best pairs at the moment. As you can see on this chart, going back to 2015, I mean, this move here took place in 4 months. To 5 months. The target is here again. Now, it doesn't matter, this is the euro. We're going into a stormy election cycle. We have news of Greece again. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, essentially. The chart suggests that we are going to further advance, and as such, following a 1.5 year awkward, choppy correction, we will now take trades only on the long side, particularly once this wedge breaks, but also mainly on any 5-wave impulse. So ideally we'll stop around here and we will see another correction. So I mean, in this situation, 5-wave impulse for wave 1, wave 2, 3 waves, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. We may have wave 3 in. Local correction to 470 area, which is a break of the channel. And then a 5th wave up here. And then we will see a deeper 3-wave correction. But you see the structure of this is very, very aggressive. This is a clear impulse, out of character from the earlier move. I had initially marked this as a 5-wave move with a B, C correction, but obviously that didn't work out as the advance was only 3. But now we have a much more aggressive move, and hopefully we see this materialize into 5 waves. New Zealand dollar, again, New Zealand is very weak after last night's news from the Bank of New Zealand that rates will be held at 1.75%. Let me start with that. Now this is a bit awkward. This pair generally is still in a downtrend. Going back for years, 3 waves, choppy, ugly, impulsive down. It looks like it will continue down. The confusion here comes from the current down move. From 2015, we had a 3-wave correction. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an ending diagonal for C. And since then, we've had a choppy correction, which suggests on first glance a bullish flag for further advance. However, the larger structure does not really suggest that. What I think we're looking at more here, 3 waves down, ABC, an X wave, 3 further waves, so we have a large W wave structure for 1, 2, and 3 into here. This was large, but it was choppy, it was overlapping and jagged, and it is essentially an X wave with the caveat that there could be a further up move here, but I would suggest that this is actually done. On a lower time frame, it can be marked as completed. So with this, we would look for a 5-wave decline now, which we are in the 3rd wave of, a local correction, and a further sell where this would be wave Y, and it would see us, or rather it would see it come down very deeply, breaking this channel, which is not ideal anyway, but it is there as such. But the motive, let me just show you in the close-up in the 1 hour. We had a 5-wave decline last night into the New Zealand news, 3-wave correction, and we are now in a sharp 3rd wave down. So any local correction here for wave 4 will be a further sell, and then a 5th wave, probably to this type of area here, then a local 3-wave correction, and then a further sell. So any bear flag here in 3 or 7 waves will be a further sell. Okay, there are 2 yen pairs that have a very good chance of reversing here. From the 2016 low in August, I believe we had a truncation, and from there, we have advanced 3 waves so far. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 3, and this pattern here is corrective. However you label it, WXY or WYZ, it is corrective. So far we've reached the 38.2 of the 3rd wave, which is a common corrective level for wave 4. And there's no evidence as such on the dollar index that the dollar bulls have faded. They seem to be in abeyance at the moment, and it is looking like the dollar trend will remain bullish, just as I showed in the New Zealand US dollar. This dollar pair also looks bullish. Now to zoom in on the 4-hour chart, into the 38.2 level here, we have what looks like an ending diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no impulsive move up yet, so I will be looking for one further low, a touchdown to 111, basically. All within the range of 38.2, and should look for a sharp reversal. First indication will be a sharp reversal. Any minor 5-wave advance on a 15-minute or hourly chart will suggest that a low is in. Alternatively, a break of the ending diagonal structure up to here will also work, but at the moment I'm looking for one more low. And then if we do find that low, an advance for the fifth wave above 118. So it would be a very good trade. Stop would be just under 111. I'm not interested in this if it breaks the 38.2 level and this little local price interactive area. We are at the fourth wave too. It's very good at the moment for another advance. The other yen pair is the euro yen, very similar, also in wave 4. Structure is slightly different, as rather than a truncation last year, we started with an initial 3-wave impulse, and I would say that this overall is wave 4 of C. So ultimately this will probably come back down. There is a possibility it won't, but for now that's irrelevant. For now, we only care that this is bullish. On the weekly chart, we broke a level that was serving as resistance. We have some price interaction here off of that line. And again, we are at the 38.2 level of the third wave, which is a common target for fourth waves. On the 4-hour chart, it's a corrective structure, WXY. And the pattern in here at the moment, I was trying to get an ending diagonal out of this. It's not ideal, but we shall see how it advances. That's corrective so far. If this turns into a leading diagonal, that will change things, just as we saw a leading diagonal on Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. But for right now, as with dollar yen, it's looking like this will make one more low to 119.20 or so, and then see a reversal. If not, then not. We'll see. If we get an impulse, we'll buy the local correction on a bull flag. The target would be up to 124 again. So these two pairs are looking similar. I'm not trading this. At the moment, it's a little bit unclear. I mean, it is still bearish. We broke out, well, look, most importantly, on the euro dollar. The most important point about this is that this structure from 2008 is corrective. It's a 3-wave structure correcting what was a bullish impulse from 2000 to 2008. So long as this structure here does not invalidate the low of this impulse, which is a 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So long as that remains valid, this pair remains bullish. Now, the euro does seem to be turning in a number of pairs. Come to that one later. Looking at this chart, there is also a possibility of divergence on the monthly. With the stochastics, we would need to see a further low. We'll see how that develops. But to zoom in on the daily chart, 4-hour chart rather, from the low in January, this is a corrective structure, similar to a leading diagonal, but it was not impulsing in 5s. And more importantly, after the 3-wave correction here, this failed to take off as a 3rd wave would. So A, B, C. We now look like we have a 5-wave bearish impulse on the downside. Wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So it's looking like this is finished, and if we get a bearish flag here, we will look to sell, or rather I will look to sell. Cable, again, I'm not trading this. I was trying to catch a low here, and I missed it by a gyration, but it was corrective, and it did take off. The local move yesterday, we have a 3-wave 5-wave advance here from the very low, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is a bit longer, extended 5th wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So wave 1, ABC. And now we have a 5-wave advance here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Local correction. Look for support into the 4th wave. On the daily, it is bullish. We have supported the 55 EMA. It should definitely hold this level, 12457, and the target will be about 128, 129 because we are still in a 4th wave corrective structure, ultimately to be followed, in my opinion, by one further low below 1.18. I do not have a bullish view on this pair. Unlike the euro, which does look like it has a much stronger case for a bullish turn soon, this one looks like it'll be entering, or rather continuing, the bearish cycle for now. Gold, I'm not looking at the moment. It remains bullish. The US dollar, Canadian dollar. This is one of the best long-term trades as well. I tracked this corrective structure all last year, actually. WXYXZ. Or several other ways to identify it. It was grueling with many short opportunities and many violent reversals. However, most importantly, 50% correction of this impulse here, and since this high for Z, we have 2 impulses to the downside. Here's the high. We have a 5-wave structure here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a 3-wave correction for wave 2, and now we're entering wave 3. We have a 5-wave decline here for wave 1 of 3, and we have a 3-wave correction so far, probably with another high. Looking for it to come towards here. It may develop further, but most importantly, we have a lot of resistance coming in, broken trend line, 55 EMA, and most importantly, structure. So any reversal here will see us target long-term low, or rather long-term target 122 area going into the summer. It's not that the dollar, despite expecting the dollar to actually continue to strengthen, the Canadian dollar is the stronger currency. And that is the reason for this pair to fall. Commodity currencies in general look quite good. The Australian dollar looks quite good in some respects. Not against the dollar. It's actually, forget that, it's really the Canadian dollar that is strong at the moment. The Australian dollar against the US dollar. This could be a 5-wave advance right here. It's certainly impulsive. It can be counted as 5. And now we have this unwieldy triangle looking structure. We're going to move down for A, and it looks like we're in A, B, C at the moment. There is a chance we will come up a little bit higher, but it has met the requirement of a 3-wave advance. The main issue here is that there's no impulse coming down. So at the moment, it is looking like a flag. There's no getting away from that at the moment. So if we do see another high with divergence, we'll be looking to sell towards this high, come down for D, E, and ultimately see a move beneath here, maybe further to a new low, which would tie in more with the New Zealand dollar. However, once again, if it does break this low, this low, we would still expect it to hold this low because this is impulsive. Impulse correction. So if we see it hold this low, in any case, it is also bullish against the dollar in the end. But for now, in terms of taking trades, I don't have a short-term trade on this. I do not have a bearish impulse either, so if that channel holds, and we move up, I will be looking to sell higher. Another New Zealand pair, pounds New Zealand dollar. This is in a larger fourth wave structure here. I was tracking this for quite a while and I ended up stopping. It's quite recently. We had a 5-wave event for A and then a 3-wave correction. A, triangle for B, C down to here, which I was tracking up as a 5-wave advance followed by another gyration. So overall there's a 3-wave structure, but now it is bullish. We could have an ABC correction, A, B, and now we are entering a 5-wave C move to 1.8, basically. I'm not interested in trading this one, frankly. There are too many good pairs at the moment with too many opportunities. This one, again, is taking off. This is the best trade at the moment, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Any local correction should be bought. Supports 105.20, 105.40 locally. I do not expect to see any of this region here again. We were working on this for weeks and weeks, months even, and it has done a long correction over the past 6 months. WXYXZ or WXABC for Y, and we are now in wave 3 of 3 of probably C. So that's it for now. Trades today, Australia, New Zealand, Euro, New Zealand on correction, and yen reversals are the main ones, also for continuation of the other New Zealand US dollar pair. Okay, I will update tomorrow most likely, and thank you and good luck.